can find it, it is -1, right? So when it is -1, again it will call same post. So when it will call, of course it will get automatically resumed, right? So it will call same post, the value of a semaphore will be incremented, it will be 0. And then again it will call same wait and it will enter into the critical section, and again the value of the semaphore will set to 1. The explanation of the same thing is given here. Here the thread 1 will decrement the value of a semaphore and it will be -1. As it is less than 0, it will be blocked. This thread 1 will be blocked. When thread 0 runs again, of course, when it will get blocked, so the thread 0 will execute this, the next line, that is the same post. And in same post, it will increment the value of semaphore. So when this will get executed, it will increment the value of a semaphore by 1 and you will find it will be 0. When it will find 0, when the value of a semaphore will be 0, so that time thread 1 will wake up, right? Thread 1 will wake up and it will execute wait again, and thread 1 will get executed, and when after the execution it will set the value to 1. So this is the way how the binary semaphore will get executed, right?
Hello.
Yes.
The binary. Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
The value of binary semaphore should not decrement to -1, right? It should be either 1 or 0.
Yes. Yes. It should be either 1 or 0, and always the initial value should be 1, because it works like a mutex.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am. But during the course of instructions, it is getting decremented to -1.
It is getting decremented to -1, but that time that thread will not get executed. What is the meaning of it? Means it will be blocked. That thread will be blocked. Yes, is it clear? Initially it is with 1.
Yeah.
Initial value is 1, right? When any of the thread is calling wait, here thread 0 is calling wait, means it will decrement to 0, right?
0.
What
Yeah.
scenario we are executing here? Before calling the same post, if thread 1 has interrupted it and it is calling the same wait, I want to execute this. So that time,
Yes.
see, you can consider the scenario with the example I have given. That is, there is only one key.
Yes, ma'am. I got
There is
that.
only
But
one key. Got it?
yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Then the next topic, semaphores for ordering. So semaphores are used for the ordering. So ordering of an events. For example, there are 2 threads running, T1 and T2, or even you can say the example, there are 3 threads are running, T1, T2, and T3. And we want that T1 should execute first before the T3, the next T3 should execute, and next T2 should execute. So that kind of ordering we can set with the help of semaphores. Or even if we say there are parent and the child, there are 2 threads, and we want that the child should finish its execution first before the parent. So that kind of ordering can be set with the help of semaphores, right? The same thing we are going to discuss here. The semaphores are also used to order the events in concurrent programs, right? When the number of threads trying to access the shared resource, so that time we can set some ordering, right? So we are just here, the parent has begin with its execution, but before ending, it want that the child should start its execution and it should end before the parent. So that kind of ordering can be set. Okay. So here, so semaphores are also used to order the events in a concurrent program. So just look at this example. Now, what is happening here? This is the main thread we can call, right? And here, this is a one more thread, that is the child thread, or we can call it as a main thread, or we can call it as a parent thread. And this is the child thread. So what is happening here? So parent has created the thread. So if you observe here, see here, the thread is created by the parent. This parent has created the thread and it is asking to run the child, right? So thread call the child function. Here the thread is calling the child function. And what is there in the parent thread, or we can say it is the parent thread. In the parent thread, we are calling the wait. We are calling wait. And in the child thread, we are calling post. Means here the value of a semaphore will be incremented, and here the value of a semaphore will be decremented. Yes. Okay, so here what we want that the child should run before the parent. What we want, the child should run before the parent. So what should be the value of x here? X is nothing but a semaphore here. So what should be the initial value of x? Or what should be the initial value of semaphore? Yes,
One.
yes?
1.
How
One.
1? See, if I just try. So if somebody is saying 1, so just we'll see if it is set to 1, what will happen? If I set it to 1, right? So it is creating a thread here. Okay. Then the parent is waiting here. So what will the value of a semaphore here? It will be decremented by 1. It will be 0. But we are allowing parent to execute in the critical section. When it will not execute in the critical section, or when it will not execute the shared data, when the value is negative. We want that it should return that same weight should return negative value, so that the parent will be
Sleep.
blocked, parent will be sleep, right? So what
Yes.
should be the value of x?
0.
0.
0, correct. So value of x should be 0. So initial value of x should be 0, so that when this will execute, so that time the value will be decremented by 1. So it will find the value of a semaphore is 0. Sorry, value of a semaphore is -1. So it's a negative value. So the parent will be blocked. And of course, when the parent will be blocked, the child will get executed. So just look at here. So parent has created the thread. Here the parent has created the thread. The thread called the child function. Here the thread is called the child function. Then parent calls the wait on a semaphore. It wants for a, it waits for a child. So child thread calls a post semaphore. So here the parent is calling wait and the child is calling post. So just here the same scenario is discussed, like x equals to 0. So when parent calls wait on semaphore, the x will be -1. So parent will get blocked. And when the child calls the post, the value of x will be incremented. So what you can say here? So when it will be negative, so that time the parent gets blocked, but the child will execute. When the child will and what is happening in the child? The child will increment the value, right? So -1 will be incremented to 0, and when it will call same post,
0.
1. Hello. Okay. So what we are doing here, we are discussing the two cases of it. So in both the cases, just we are changing the sequence when the same post will run and when the same wait will run. And in both the cases, we want that the child should finish its execution before the parent. So what is the case 1? In the case 1, we want that the parent calls same wait before the child has called same post. Means what? We want the same wait should execute first before the same post. And in case 2, we are going to discuss is same post should execute first before the same wait. Now in this case 1, same wait should execute before the child has same post. Again the same code, right? Now just look at here what will happen. What we want, the same wait should run before the same post. So again the same thing which we have discussed on the earlier slide, right? So here initial value is 0, right? So it is calling the same wait. So when it will call the same wait, it will decrement it by 1. So it will be -1. So it will go to sleep. It will go to sleep. So when it will go to sleep, child will run. And when the child will run, child is calling the same post, right? Child is calling the same post. So it will have the value 0, right? It will increment the value and it is having 0, right? So it will, when it finds the value is 0, so it will wake the parent and it will wake up the parent. Yes. Yes. Then it will
Yes.
it will wake up the parent. So in this scenario, you can find the child is executing before the parent. The same thing is explained here. Would like the parent to wait for the child to run. This may happen if the value of a semaphore is not greater than 0. So the initial value, that's why we have set the initial value to 0. And when the parent runs, it will decrement to -1. So parents get blocked. Then the child runs, it calls the same post and the semaphore value will be 0 to wake up, and the parent will wake up and it will execute. Okay. Now the another case, in another case, what we are discussing, exactly opposite of this. In first case, what we discussed, the same wait will execute before the same post. And in this, what we are saying, the same post will execute before the same wait. This will execute, means child will execute first, or we can say the same post will execute before the same wait. When we discuss this, you will observe that again the child will run before the parent in both the cases. If this is executing before this, that same wait is executing before same post, in that time also you can find the child is executing before the parent. And if same post is executing the same wait before the same wait, that time also you will find that the child is executing, finishing before the parent. So just look at here. Now here again the initial value is 0, same thing, right? So when the value is 0, again it is creating a child. Once the child is created, so now what we are running in this case, key first same post will execute. When, so see, look at here, the child is created and now child runs. We want that the same post should execute first. When it calls same post, so that time the value will be 1, right? When value is 1, so that time same post is returning 1. And when same post is returning 1, so that time the parent will run and it call the wait. When it will call wait, see, it is here, you can see the child has finished with this execution, right? Child has, because the initial value was 0, right? Initial value was 0.
Yes, yes.
Because the same post is called, so when the same post is called, it return 1 and it has executed. When it has executed, of course it will give the signal to the parent, I am done, right? We know that what happens in the signaling. If T1 and T2 two threads are running, if T1 finishes with its execution, it will give the signal to the T2, I have done, right? So in this case, it will call the same wait and it will decrement the value and it will execute in the critical stage. So in both the case, you can see the child is executing before the parent. Okay. Just a minute. You can observe this. Yes, all have given the attendance on the chat window, because
No.
it will be terminated automatically. You give your attendance with your name.
Yes,
You
yes.
have got the reminder about last 10 minutes. And see, there are, for the instructions for the C1 and C2 batch. C1 and C2, yes, correct. C1 and C2 batch, I have sent some instructions regarding the lab to your batch representative. That is, I think Prathamesh for C2 and Prasanjit for C1. So I have mailed them some instructions and some rough code, we can say, or the instructions how we can execute or how we can complete the assignment number 5, right? So go through the instructions, go through the code given and complete the assignment. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the, we can say, about the binary semaphore. So be careful when you choose the initial value of a semaphore. So initial value of a semaphore determines its behavior. So of course, the what value you set, so accordingly that thread or that program will behave, right? So just you have observed in the previous case, somebody told me the value of x is equals to 1. So that times, of course, it will behave differently. And when you set the value of x equals to 0, so of course that time the parents get blocked, right? Okay. So next topic is about the producer consumer problem. So in this session, I'll just give you the introduction to what exactly we are discussing here. And so in the producer consumer problem, it is a common pattern in multi-threaded program. So you have multiple threads. One thread is a producer, other is a consumer, and you have shared buffer in between them. So what you can say, there is thread 1, which we are calling it as a producer, and there is another thread, and we are calling it as a consumer. And there is some common buffer, right? And which may have some size. Like for example, that buffer is having some size, for example, 4. Means what? What is the meaning of this? 4 atoms can reside in that buffer. And what is the job of producer? Producer will put the atom into the buffer. How many atoms the producer can put in this buffer? 4, of course. As the size of a buffer is 4, so producer can keep only 4 atoms into it. And the consumer, what the consumer will do? Consumer will consume the atoms from the same shared buffer, right? So how many atoms, maximum atoms it can consume?
4.
4. So of course, depends. Right? So producer thread keeps on producing the atom in the buffer. Consumer threads keeps on consuming the atom from the same shared buffer. So here you need mutual exclusion on the buffer. So third point is very much important. Here you need mutual exclusion. That is, we know what do you mean by the mutual exclusion? Mutual exclusion means only
one thread is executing at one time.
Yes, correct. Only one thread can execute at one time or access the critical section at one time, right? So you don't want concurrent access to the buffer. Means what exactly we want? Whatever the shared buffer is there, in this example we have considered the size of that shared buffer is 4. So at one time either the producer or the consumer should able to access it. It will not happen that both are accessing it at the same time. Both will access it but not at the same time. Okay. So here we need the signaling also. See the use of mutex also here. And now we need the use of signaling also. So what is the use of signaling here? If the buffer is full, the parent should sleep. Right? If the buffer is full, the parent should sleep. Here buffer is full, parent is here, parent is nothing but the producer. Right? Parent is nothing but the producer. Now if we consider the same example, the size of a buffer is 4. Right? So producer is producing the atom, it is keeping into the buffer. So of course, after keeping the 4 atoms into the buffer, it will find the buffer is full. Now it should sleep. So there we are going to use the signaling concept. If the buffer is full, the parent should sleep, or you can say the producer should sleep. Similarly, if the buffer is empty, the consumer thread should wait. We know that the consumer, what consumer is doing, it is going to consume the atoms from the shared buffer. So if the buffer is empty, if there is nothing to consume, so of course, so that time the consumer thread should wait or it should sleep, right? So here, so once the producer produces something, the consumer can wake up. Now here, just an example, in a multi-threaded web server, a producer puts the HTTP request into the work queue or in the bounded buffer or in the shared buffer, you can say. What will happen? The producer puts the request which are coming from the different user into the queue, and the consumer thread takes the request out of this queue and process them. Right? So in that we can have one or more producer threads. In that we can have one or more producer threads. We'll have one or more consumer threads, and we'll have the shared buffer of bounded size. Bounded size means it should have some specific bounded size, right? So like in the earlier example, we have taken the size should be 4, for example, right? So this is the example. So in the next session, we'll discuss this producer consumer problem in more detail. So we are going to discuss how this producer consumer problem is solved by using the semaphores. Even the same kind of problems can be solved by using the signaling primitive also, right? So condition variable, you can say, sorry, condition variable primitive. So condition variable is not there in your syllabus also, but you can just, if somebody is interested, you can just check if how producer consumer problem can be solved by using the condition variable, and how the producer consumer problem can be solved by using the semaphores. Of course, by using the semaphore, we are going to discuss in the next session. And this next assignment, assignment number 7. See, the fourth assignment, first 4 assignment we have completed. And the assignment number 5, I have given the instructions to your batch representative. Go through it. Even some code is also shared. You need to modify that code according to instructions given. Right? It is all about the threading. Right? These are the instructions for C1 and C2 batch. Right? So, and the next assignment number 7. Assignment number 7 is about producer consumer problem. Right? And 6, I'll explain in the next session. It is about the IPC. Right?
Okay.